This is Eric from Pack Hacker, and today we're going to talk about the Aer Go Bag 2, which I've been testing for the past 2 weeks. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe so we can continue making content to help you travel smarter. Let's dive in. So the exterior material on this thing is a 210D Cordura crinkle nylon. And as you can see, it's not really matte because there is a little bit of reflection from the light, but it's just not what we're used to seeing from Aer. But I really dig this material for a number of reasons. And the first one being, I think it looks really nice and it blends in to a lot of different situations. And then it obviously has durability. And then I got caught in the rain in this a few times while riding my bike to and from work, and it held up very well. My gear on the inside stayed dry. And just overall, I think it looks very nice. And on the front, you can see we have this little Aer tag here, not Apple Aer tag, just the Aer company tag there. And that's like a Hypalon type material. Moving up here towards the top, we've got YKK zippers, and we'll dive into those in a little bit. We've got this little magnetic buckle here, which on the last pack was actually a Fidlock, but this is just a little Woojin buckle. And then we have Duraflex adjustment hardware here, and then this little D-ring on the shoulder strap. And everything really works how you'd expect it to. Just looking at the back here real quick, we do have this luggage pass-through, very, very basic. And something that I think is interesting is there is still mesh underneath it. Not sure if that really helps with anything, but having a luggage pass-through is nice if you do take this with you abroad or wherever you're going to the airport. We've got 2 side water bottle pockets, and as you can see, I was able to fit my big Nalgene 32-ounce bottle in there without an issue, and that's thanks to this little piece of elastic here. You really can stretch that quite a bit. Something that I think is important to note, I'm going to switch real quick. I just have a speaker inside that pocket right now, but as you can see, we've got these Hypalon pulls on the zipper, which I really like. They're easy to grab onto and just great zipper pulls. But if you have these down in this pocket here, and you throw a bigger item or a water bottle in here, you really can't get to those now because the zipper goes so far down, or maybe it's because my water bottle's so tall. I'm not really sure which, but it's really hard to get down there to grab that. And that's like, you can obviously combat that by putting shorter items in here or nothing in this one and having your water bottle in this pocket, but just something that I noticed that I thought was worth talking about. And this is kind of a pocket, so it's weird to talk about on the exterior, but I think it's more of an exterior feature. We have a nice little slide pocket here that you can put a rain jacket in or something else that you don't mind getting wet because there isn't that top closure. So looking at the back panel and harness here, we do have mesh, as I mentioned when talking about this luggage pass-through, but there really isn't any padding. You can kind of see I can just kind of pick that up, and there really isn't any, there's no foam padding at all. There is a bit of what you might call padding because of the aeration here, just like a couple layers of material. But you see, right now I have my laptop back there, and when I grab the material, you can really see where that laptop is, which shows you that there isn't really padding or a frame. But this is a more packable bag, so we weren't really expecting there to be a hard sheet on the back, but it is important to notice, especially if you have a larger backpack that might poke you a little bit on the bottom. But moving on to the shoulder straps here, we have that same aeration, and there is a little bit of padding. You can see when I squeeze it there, it might just be more aeration, but it does have a little bit more structure than the back panel does. And up here we have these little strap-like material that connects from the shoulder strap to the main pack. And those are nice because it adds kind of more versatility, I think. But also if you do have like larger traps or like a bigger neck, you're gonna feel those rubbing a little bit. And it's not really painful or anything like that, it's just noticeable. So you're either get over it or you won't like it. On the right shoulder strap here, we have this little D-ring, which is nice. You can put your sunglasses on there or something, or attach a carabiner or whatever you want to. And then we do have these strap keepers here on the bottom, which I really like because there's a ton of extra straps. So when you don't use the strap keeper, it feels like you're got like a streamer attached to you or something. So I'm not sure how well you can see it, but I noticed that the higher you kind of have this bag up, and I do like wearing my bag a little bit higher, and I have a 15-inch laptop in there right now, but it kind of digs into my lower back, and that's especially when I'm doing something more active, like if I was walking fast, or even like when I'm riding my bike. I feel like I'm just kind of getting a little bit of pressure put there, and it's not really uncomfortable, but you just notice it. And something else that I wanted to showcase is these straps on the end. If you don't have them in the strap keeper or they come out, as I said like just a second ago, they just kind of feel like streamers, and then you got to put it back into the strap keeper. But it's also kind of a good thing. So if you like to wear, if you're a bigger person or you like to really wear your backpack low, like you can see how low down that goes. So you have a lot of strap to work with. So you can really, different body types can wear this pack easily. So when it comes to secondary compartments, I already really touched on this front pocket here, not a ton going on there, but we do have this quick access pocket here, which on the first iteration of the Go Pack, it was on this side over here. And I like the transition from coming from the back to the front, because I think this is easier to access than if it was located over here. You can really get it, especially if you swing it onto your shoulder. It's kind of easier to access. You're not reaching as far over to get to the zipper up here. And I like that we have this little zipper garage here for the YKK zipper. No issue opening and closing this zipper. You know, it just does what it's supposed to do. And in this quick access pocket, it's actually pretty big. You can see I've got my phone in there and also have my sunglasses in there. It's a pretty big pocket. You can see sticking my hand in there. You know, it fits my hand and my hand's all the way open. So it's quite a big pocket. So you can fit all of your like stuff you need actively every day, like your wallet, your phone, sunglasses, keys. You can put those all in there. There's going to be a little bit of intermixing, so depending on what you carry in your pockets normally, you don't want anything to scratch your phone or your sunglasses. But it's nice to have all of that space. But something I think is important to notice is this does share space with the main compartment. So once you go into the main compartment, like we're about to, if you have the main compartment completely packed out, that's kind of like dangling in there, so it's hard to get stuff inside of there if you have the main compartment completely full. So before we dive into the main compartment, I just want to bring up something I've mentioned throughout this video, that this is a packable bag. And right now it might not look like it, but once I take everything out of the main compartment, we're really going to be able to see that. So I just wanted to mention that so it's fresh in your head while we're going through this, that this is more of a packable bag than a standard day pack that you would use as a standard day pack. So I'll open these up real quick. Again, those Hypalon zipper pulls are really nice to grab onto. Even in inclement weather, you can really grab those and get them open easily. So right now, just to show you about how much stuff I've got inside there, I've got a small to medium sized packing cube, a small to medium sized packing cube, and then a big honker packing cube, which we no longer need, so they're going on the floor. But all of those fit in there with room to spare. And as soon as I opened this, something I think that you guys probably noticed was that this flap right here. So that is that quick access compartment I was talking about. And you can kind of see that if you had this completely full, it would be hard to get more gear inside here. But looking at the actual inside of this pack now, you can see we've got quite a bit of space. On this front side here, we've got two liner pockets that have elastic on the top. It's kind of hard to showcase, but you can see that it does stretch. So if you were to put a larger item in there, it would keep it under wraps. But smaller items, like I just have my wallet in there right now, like that just slides out pretty easily. So that's not to say that that would, you know, come out necessarily, but it could if you were to get into some rugged terrain. But just to like show you, I got my hand in there. It's a pretty big pocket. I can fit my hand all the way in there on the bottom. And then moving to the back side here, we have the laptop compartment, which as you heard there when I was kind of shifting it around, so it's hard to really showcase it, but it is raised a little bit. So it does have protection from if you were to set it down, but that really only works if you have a bunch of gear in here, because how much it's raised is just a couple centimeters, and this material doesn't have a lot of structure. So right now when there isn't a bunch of gear in here, I'm setting it down, and I don't want to set it down too hard. I don't know if you can hear that, but my laptop is just hitting the ground because this material doesn't have the structure and there isn't padding down there to stop it from hitting. So when you have a bunch of gear in there, it's okay because it kind of holds the material up, but your laptop can still hit the ground. So just be careful when you're doing that, because you obviously don't want to slam your laptop down. But overall, this laptop compartment is pretty great in my opinion. For such a small day pack, you can fit up to a 16-inch laptop, transported my 15-inch with absolutely no issues. Something that I also want to point out is that you do have a little bit of padding on the backside for your laptop from the mesh that we talked about earlier, but there really isn't any padding on this side. So if you have, you know, heavier items on the inside, they could, you know, be hitting your laptop. So just again, you got to be wary of that. This is a more packable bag, as I mentioned. But on the front of that laptop compartment, we do have this zippered pocket here, a YKK zipper, quality in every aspect of this bag, which is something we love to see from Aer. But this material here is stretchy. It's kind of a stretchy mesh. You can see that. You can see my hands more as I push it, and the holes get a little bit bigger. But I really dig this zipper compartment because it's somewhere to lock smaller items down, like dongles and cables and things you don't necessarily want to lose in the rest of the main compartment. And I like that it's got mesh, so you can put larger items in there if you want to. You can, throw a bunch of really small stuff in there, and it's not necessarily going to get lost. And I don't personally like really using a tech kit. It's just not something that I really do. So I can put all of my little tech stuff inside of here, and then I don't have to use a tech kit. But if you want to use a tech kit, there's obviously room to stow that inside this bag. And if you have a small enough tech kit, you may even be able to put it inside of this because of that mesh. But now that I have this completely empty, you can really see how small this bag is when you take everything out. It's very, very thin. Like if you were going on a road trip or you had a piece of checked luggage or even a really large carry-on, you could probably just stow this on the bottom, slide it away between your seats in your car. It's a very small bag, and these materials are very lightweight, which makes this, it's not really a traditional packed bag because it's not going into a stuff sack or anything like that, but you really have an option to, even roll it up, and it's very small, so you've really got that going for you. So there you have it, the Aer Go Pack 2. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next one.